Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of my hip hop review. I have to do this damn review again because my webcam was fucking up, and for one thing, the mic was turned off for some odd reason. But other than that, the album. Well, for this review, I'm gonna do something a little different. With this review, originally, I'm going to review this album right here, LL Cool J, Mr. Smith. LL Cool J, Mr. Smith. But, I'm going to talk about that secret album that came before, Double L Cool Down. Now, for those of you who know what Double L Cool Down was, to say the least, it was originally supposed to be pretty much the demo version of Mr. Smith. Now let's take it back. So 14 Shots to the Dome did not do what it expected to be critically and commercially. LL was having problems with Def Jam because he felt like the label did not promote the album that well. Which, in my opinion, I do like 14 Shots to the Dome. I love that album. But just like Walking with a Panther, you can say it's like an acquired taste to certain LL fans. But I think over the years, it kind of got a little bit more, people kind of viewed it more positively over the years. But anyway, so LL was putting out songs like aimed at Def Jam, and he had this one song called Fuck This Shit, basically, which I'll post a link on the description. And so he independently dropped like the secret album called Double L Cool Down, which is like more like a street version of Mr. Smith, to say the least. Now, before I begin, I made a slight error. According to some sources, the song State of Hip Hop, or A Year of Hip Hop, was originally what K-Def was supposed to have been on this album, from what I've heard, but it got lost. So I thought it was supposed to be for 14 Shots to the Dome, but other than that, yeah, I'm gonna talk about certain songs because originally I was gonna do a long review on this album, well, unreleased album, but I felt that since I felt like the album does not really deserve to be up to 20 minutes and shit like that, to say the least. So yeah. So I'm gonna talk about certain songs like Mr. Smith, but it's a different version of Mr. Smith, like the OG version, and the beat was like more hardcore, like more street. Then you had Dear Lover, which hence the name is a double version of Hey Lover. And then you have Pump My Shit. That was a pretty cool song. It had like a B-side feel to it. Which then Soliloquy. Then we have Candyman, which was like a song he would have done around that time. Set It Off New York Mentality. That was okay. 2 Minute Warning to Shake That Ass. Excuse me. Bring On the Mo's Hoes, which we had that Joe sample, that Joe sample, yeah, and Forever Yours. Yeah, there's not really that much to say. It's like pretty much a demo version of Mr. Smith. So after the release of that debacle, 14 Shots to the Dome commercially, what happened was, he got married around this time and shit like that, and I believe he had his first child around this time too. I could be wrong on that. He started on this movie called Out of Sync with that was about like a gambling movie. It had like Tim Reed, it had Howard Hessman, both of them of WKRF Cincinnati fame. Had Victoria Dillard and shit like that. Who you guys should know, she was on LA Law and shit like that too. Deep Cover. Yeah, I need to see that movie. I heard that was a pretty good movie and shit. And also around that time, you know, that movie was directed by Debbie Allen. And so Debbie Allen and LL both starred in the sitcom, what's the sitcom? In the House and shit. Which, that was a pretty cool show. It was kind of like in the same vein of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, because it had the same style of comedy and shit like that. The first 2 seasons are my favorite. I'm not really a big fan of that show, but it's like a nostalgic show in a way. And so yeah, so 95, he was like a very busy year for LL. So he straightened out stuff with Def Jam, and he dropped this album. So this album and Bigger and Deffer are his commercially successful albums and shit like that. Singles I was known for are Hey Lover, Doing It, Loungin'. And you can say I Shot You was a single. Producers, Rashad Smith, Shot Skills. Shot Skills, you guys should know, I mentioned him when I reviewed Onyx's All We Got Is Us. He's kind of like the originator of Onyx's sound, to say the least. Then you had Chad Elliott. You had Trackmasters, who, in my opinion, I felt like 95 and 96 were the Trackmasters' best years, because some of their best beats came from that period, and you can say that some of the best beats were on this album and shit like that. And of course, Easy Mo B. And you guys know how I feel about that cast, so. Alright, so this album cover, you know, has LL kind of like, looks like he's contemplating his life, you know. Looks like, yeah, he had it up to here with the game and shit. And this is just some pictures of him, you know, straight up 90s gear. Alright. So, 15 songs. Oh, guest appearances, excuse me. Boyz II Men, LaShawn, Keith Murray, Terry and Monica, who are like a 90s R&B duo. Keith Murray again, excuse me, Prodigy, Fat Joe, and Foxy Brown. Alright. So, 15 songs. You guys should know what I'm about to do. Track number 1, it's like an intro skit, which basically is kind of like in the theme of like a western, old western and shit like that. You know, not really too much. It's an okay intro, you know. Fuck it. Track number 2, Make It Hot. That's like a braggadocio song right there. To be honest with you, that was an okay song as well. I mean, the sample, you guys should know that sample. And with that sample, you know, there's not that many ways you can do that sample and shit like that. So, Track number 3, Hip Hop. That's a pretty dope song right there. In my opinion, that should have started off the album right there. He's kind of like paying homage to like all of the rappers and shit like that in the past, in the present, and people that were like making names for themselves around that time and shit like that. You know, like the first verse, he was talking about, you know, Slick Rick, The Treacherous 3, Sugar Hill Gang. And then it goes into like Big Daddy Kane, Slick Rick, Big Daddy Kane, excuse me, Daddy Fresh, Salt and Pepper, and then now it goes into like cats who were like doing it recently, like Biggie, Craig Mack, Lost Boys. You know, that's a very dope song. I love that song. Track number 4, Hey Lover, played in the background. That has Boyz II Men and shit like that. classic hip hop love song. A hip hop love song done right. It won a Grammy for Best Rap Solo Performance in 1997 Grammy Awards. If you guys want a dope remix, check out the Easy Moby, no, excuse me, the Eric Sermon remix with Keith Murray. That is a dope remix and shit like that. That's a very good remix. Next song, Doing It. That's one of his most iconic songs, one of his most acclaimed songs and shit like that. Just a flat out sex record and shit. Also with that song, the remix of that song too, the main remix, very dope remix and shit. The song features LaShawn though, but in the video she's not featured in the video and stuff like that. And I think she filed a lawsuit against either LL Def Jam or some shit over the fact that a different woman was lip syncing her parts. Because the reason why she wasn't in the video is because she was pregnant and shit. But she and LL, she scrapped up everything. She has no bad blood between LL and shit. Which is, thank God for that. Track number 6, Life As. That's a very cool song. I believe Easy Moby produced that song and shit like that. Yes, he did. And that was actually on the Street Fighter soundtrack. Track number 7, I Shot Ya, featuring Keith Murray. That's a very controversial song right there and shit. Because you guys should know, that song was somewhat of a continuation to Biggie's Who Shot Ya, which was the B-side to Big Papa. You guys should know that Who Shot Ya was thought of as a diss to Tupac and shit like that while he was in jail. Plus he was shot. He kind of got mad at LL because of the fact that why would he do a song if they didn't think that the song was about him? Why would he do an answer track against that and shit like that? And there was also other part of the beef too. Rumors had it with Quincy Jones' daughter, but I don't really know too much about that. And there was certain lines that LL was kind of throwing though that was kind of suspect. Like he had this one line that said "Baby boys reminiscing old school shit." Cause you guys know that Tupac had a song called "Old School" off the Me Against the World album, and he kind of paid homage to, like, ironically, like LL's hip hop. He paid homage to rappers back in the day, and he kind of paid homage to LL or some shit. But excuse me. Track number 8, Mr. Smith. That's a very dope song right there. That song right there, that's a very good beat. I love the beat to that. Shy Skills did the beat to that. And it's kind of different too because Shy Skills, you know, he's known for that harder shit, like as opposed to, you know, with Onyx and shit. So that was a nice change of blend with that. Track number 9, No Airplay. In my opinion, this is my favorite song off the album, surprisingly. The reason why it's called No Airplay was because of the fact that, you know how rappers, you know, have to censor themselves on radio and shit, and so he's cursing like a sailor, but the bleeps are all over this album and shit. And it's kind of clever too, because you know the 90s, they were doing like these weird sound effects to bleep out certain sound effects, like a weird like wow or hey or some shit like that. So, and the beat and the way he was going on that beat was dope too. I loved that beat, and so I thought that was kind of like original concept for a song. The remix, I love the remix of that song too, and the uncensored version is dope too as well. Track number 10, Loungin', featuring Terry and Monica. This is not the Loungin' that you think it is. It is actually the, how can I put this, original version with the I'll Be Sure sample. The Who Do You Love sample had that, I think that Bernard White sample and shit like that. Very dope. I like the remix better. If the remix was on the retail version, it would have made the album about a couple times better and shit. But oh, and I forgot to tell you, the song No Airplay, the little intro skit came from the Double L Cool Down intro with the Mr. Smith party, sex party and shit. Then you have Hollis to Hollywood. Hollis to Hollywood, that's a very cool song. It's a very, he's making fun of rappers who do metaphors and shit. But at the same time, the song is the metaphor itself too. Like, listen to this, he's like, if you saw the movie Wall Street, I guess you know the way I stack chips and regulate wild dough. But ain't no G-Funk and far from my era. Tales in the hood, y'all boys feel terror. Like, it's kind of crazy because Wall Street the movie, wild dough, but then he's talking about Warren G's Regulate the G-Funk era album. Dope album too. And also, like, listen to this. I'll make the speed like I'm Keanu Reeves, but I'm too many true lies can make a honey bleed. Like, that's dope as hell and shit like that. That's dope as hell. And the Trackmaster did the beat for that song too. Next song, God Bless, which is a song where I kind of feel like he's basically just humbling himself and shit. Then you have Get a Drop on Him, which that song I could have done without. That was an okay song. Then you had Prelude the skit, and then you had I Shot Your remix with Prodigy, Keith Murray, Fat Joe, and Foxy Brown. Very good song to end off this album. Like the original, this song was controversial as well because of the fact that Keith Murray and Prodigy and Keith Murray, like I mentioned in the Hell on Earth review, either Hell on Earth or the Infamous review, they had a beef around that time because Prodigy kind of went after Keith Murray and the Death Squad over the fact that they would use like a lot of weed-orientated styles on their records and shit. So Prodigy has some lines like, while you're wondering what we saying on the record's real, yeah, you motherfucking right kids, you know the deal. Some deaf kids feeling guilty about that space shit. The truth hurts, baby girl, so just face it. Like, that's cold as hell though. And ironically, LL would use that same method on his unfortunate next album though. But yeah. And also, according to Keith Murray, he said that Tupac actually confronted him over the I Shot Your song. And he said that, no, bro, there's no beef against you. It's just entertainment. Which Pac respected and shit. Okay, and so that's all the songs of this album. Originally, okay, my thoughts. The very dope album. In my opinion, it's a personal classic to me. This album has a very nice blend of rap and R&B, hardcore and smooth. Like, this was the album where I kind of felt like he just felt more comfortable with himself. He didn't have to rap under a mission because Walking with the Panther, he was going over the production controversies, and he was trying to like do these hip hop love songs. Mama Said Knock You Out, he just wanted to prove something, he can come back. 14 Shots to the Dome, he wanted to fit with the hardcore image. This album has like a little bit of everything and shit like that, which why I felt like he was very comfortable with this album. The production was very good too. Had that mid-90s flavor towards it. Yeah, and this album was actually re-released I think in 2015. And they had like 2 discs. One disc of this version, then with remixes and shit like that too. So yeah, very dope album. Must have in your collection, your LL. In my opinion, this is his last great album. But, you know, fans, they love to hate this album for some reason though, but this is... This album right here, very good. I would recommend it and shit. Yeah. And yeah, that's all the time for this album. So since my video has been pushed back, I'm going to definitely do an Aretha Franklin tribute. Then right after that, I'm definitely going to... Let's see. Oh, okay. I'm going to just do some more. Going to definitely talk about some Guns N' Roses. Going to definitely get into G&R Lies, R&B. Talk about that Earth, Wind, Fire. Do a couple live reviews and shit. And yeah, that's all the time I have. Stay tuned for more. Peace. Oops, I forgot it's not touchscreen.